Here we are at Trillium with Professor Sam Kauffmann doing a beer vlog. Yay, Boston!
So where's the makeup artist?
What kind of beer do you like?
I like IPAs.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, they have a bunch. I mean, come see. They have a bunch of IPAs and a bunch of dark beers. Are you willing to try dark beers?
Listen, I'm in your hands. I signed up. Just let you know, I won't probably get all the subtlety that you guys seem to.
You've seen a couple of videos. But you're a professor.
Why do you always? Why do you fast forward?
Because he's an asshole.
Well, there is that.
All right, but let's concentrate.
okay.
Let's concentrate.
So-
So do I? Okay.
I'll curate it.
Hello, our audience, otherwise known as our mama.
And this guy.
And this guy. I would not be the amazing, talented filmmaker I am were it not for the best college professor, film professor,
No, that sounds good. Keep talking.
the best film professor at Boston University in 1988, otherwise known as before anyone but our mamas was born. There are only 3 professors I think I remember in my entire life, and you were one of them.
Oh, thank you. I was a good listener too. I brought the students in. It wasn't.
He was
One of
actually
3.
genuinely touched when you posted the picture on Facebook that he was in. He was like, do you remember?
You tagged me and said you're in this, and I said, I didn't for a second think that you would remember me.
Well, part of the remembering was the fact that we were both Macintosh aficionados, and early on, my handouts were from a dot matrix printer, and that was
That's an image writer.
yes,
Right.
and so that was, you knew right away I was a Mac person, so that was a bond. I think you actually sold me the second Mac I had, so I remember you very well.
We are incredibly honored to have the grand person that is here would not be here if it were not for this man who gives teaching and BU and filmmaking a great name. He also is saving the planet and trying to save the planet in many ways. SamKauffmann.com. It will be in the notes.
So we have 6 beers to try from light to dark. 3 IPAs, because Sam said he likes IPAs, and so do I. And 3 darks, because I like darks, and he said he was willing to try them. So first we're going to try Fort Point. It is the lightest IPA. In fact, it's just called a pale ale. 6.6% alcohol with Citra hop. I'm going to smell it. It smells very light and fruity. Very easy drinking. Very nice. I say sometimes on the show that I could drink a whole 16 ounces of this. It's very drinkable. Let me know what you think.
Fort Point is an area of Boston, so that this is named for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not as strong an IPA as I prefer.
It's not real hoppy. Maybe that's why it's just called a pale ale and not an IPA. Actually.
Yes.
Well, you chugged it.
So is it my turn, sweetie?
Oh yes, I totally forgot about you.
See, I think she's looking, like broadcast news thing for a replacement here. Fort Point at Trillium in Beantown adjacent in Beantown. Fort Point. Are you ready for this comedy gold? I would say that when I come to Boston, I occasionally like to talk about where I have been in Boston. 519 Beacon, where the professor taught me in class and all of that, and I will point to places. I will point over here and point here, and this is where I come Trillium, so that I can point to the fort that used to be there 500 years ago.
That direction, I would think.
The fort that used to be right over there.
I'm sure you were going to say it was beer-flavored beer, because it was kind of beer-flavored beer, but in a good way. But I like to say that IPAs are the Sauvignon Blanc of beer, but that one was more like a Pinot Grigio.
Ah, well said.
The next one up is Franklin Park, which is an IPA with El Dorado and Amarillo hops. And where is Franklin Park?
So Franklin Park, sort of Dorchester, Roxbury area. It's a huge park, a lot of events there. There's a Franklin Park Zoo. It's kind of our famous park.
Franklin Park, I can already tell, smells a little more hoppy. It smells less fruity. It's still very smooth. I can taste the hops more, but it still might be a little not as IPA-y for you. You can let me know what you think.
So we're getting there. This would satisfy me. If someone said, hey, I brought you beer.
Well, we had one fan who is a slam poet we know, who kept saying, well, you're not saying whether it's balanced or not. I would say this one's kind of balanced. You can taste the hops on the end. It's very smooth drinking. Okay, I remembered you this time, Zor.
Franklin Park, Trillium, Beantown adjacent in Beantown. Franklin Park. I would say that if one were in Boston, one should park oneself here. Think about all the great horror films that maybe you watched during your college education at Boston University. Lots of horror films, lots of ghost films. So if I were in Boston, I would say that maybe I want to park myself and look for the ghost of Franklin while drinking a beer in his honor.
That's Philadelphia. Franklin was in Philadelphia.
Well, he's visited.
I should point out, too, that we are at the old Sears building, and if you do a little flip with the 360, they'll see it, which was a Sears when we were in college and grad school. And they've done something similar in Memphis.
So in the winter, just for your, they turn this grass, they put up a skating rink. So it has people come even in the winter.
Now, does Trillium mean something?
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Hold on, wait. Did the profess come to beer vlog class unprepared without having done his homework?
Now we're going to try Heavier Metal Cut. It is a double IPA with Mosaic and Riwaka. It's a collaboration with Fiden's Brewing. This is maybe getting more where you're going. Smells strong. When you're on Untapped, which should sponsor us, complex is not one. I guess they think that's lame and you should be more specific. But this is kind of complex, I think. It's maybe not as strong as you want, but there's a lot going on. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, I like this a lot. You can say it shows its metal. To me, that's an IPA. By comparison, this is kind of almost like it's watery.
Heavier Metal Cut at Trillium, Beantown adjacent in Beantown.
That's where you're going.
That just fills me up and makes me feel so much heavier. This makes me think about how I should go jumping jack flash, jumping jack flash, Michael Keaton reference.
Now we're going into some territory that the professor does not often do. Dark beers, which I like. So I'm going to start with something called Secret Stairs, which is a Boston dry stout.
You jumping past this?
I will say, Professor Sam Kauffmann, how amazingly peculiar and frustrating it is how Sweetie turns a simple sequence into a jigsaw puzzle.
They don't always give them to me in the order that would make sense.
She wants the beer vlog to be as complicated as a Rubik's Cube.
I'm starting with Secret Stairs. It is a Boston dry stout. If there is such a thing as a dry stout that is specifically Boston, I'm afraid I don't know what that means. If you want, you could save your others to drown out these if you decide you are not happy with dark beers. But I have found dark beers to be a little bit of a revelation for someone who exited college thinking they never wanted to see another beer again. Oh, this is very nice. It's kind of coffee-ish, kind of chocolatey.
Just so you know, the filmmaking thing that you may have seen, if you've seen a bunch of the beer vlogs, is that will get the super slow down twice.
This is not too bitter. It's not sweet. It's kind of refreshing. I don't know. Let me know what you think.
It has an aftertaste that's interesting that I haven't had before. Yeah, it's smoky, yes. So I'm not sure I would go up any stairs, let alone secret ones, to get to it.
You will try some sips of it on a beer vlog.
Exactly.
Okay, well then you're really gonna hate this.
Secret Stairs at Trillium, Beantown adjacent in Beantown. Secret Stairs. Sweetie, I peeked a tiny bit when I drank that.
Saw the Secret Stairs.
And I saw the Secret Stairs.
Now we are going to try something called PM Dawn Supernatural, which is an American stout with cold brewed coffee. I have a feeling this is going to be pretty intense. But sometimes they almost do taste like, oh, if you had an iced coffee and it was effervescent and alcoholic. This is sweeter. Tastes almost a little raisiny. I like this quite a lot, but I don't know if you will. It's interesting. You will maybe say it's interesting.
It's funny. It's like I don't feel like I'm really drinking a beer.
Exactly. Well, you
know?
really won't feel like you're drinking beer when you taste this.
I think the PM. Okay, so you're tired. It's night. Then dawn. You get up and you have this.
It's got coffee in it.
and then something supernatural happens. So there you go. I would drink it in the morning.
I think one reason I was really taken with the dark beers when I first tried them is because I didn't like beer anymore. Now this is going to be weird, I will admit.
This is going to stretch my improv comedy beer vlog skills. PM Dawn Supernatural. PM Dawn Supernatural at Trillium, Beantown adjacent in Beantown. PM Dawn Supernatural. That was quite lovely. That was so lovely that if I were in Japan where PM were AM, I might hop over, cross through the center of the planet in some form of supernatural way, and I would wave past the Jared and other supernatural guys and Miles from Risky Business from Supernatural, and I would do that till dawn, and I would invite both Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez and Cheech Marin and party with them with this drink from dusk till dawn. I'd even get Harvey Keitel in there. I would do all that just to have a glass of this.
Now the next one is called Permutation. It is 13.7% alcohol. Let me smell it. Oh yeah, this smells like you're sitting around in your smoking jacket with a brandy snifter.
Sweetie, can you do that oh yeah thing again?
This is a little milder than some of them, but definitely you feel like you should be drinking this out of a brandy glass. Does not taste like beer at all. Yeah, I don't know why it seems raisiny, like almost like a sherry. That's why I think of raisins.
Okay. It's 13.7% alcohol. Yeah. No wonder you can't remember.
Right, exactly. Yeah, wow, right?
This is definitely worth trying in your lifetime. It's like, hey, you only live once.
And you only have a little bit to sip.
And now I'm ready to take a nap.
Before I get the funny on here, after the smarty pants here, I have to, number one, in case all of this technology is messed up, I learned from Professor Sam Kauffmann, when you have sound, you have to have a clap. Thank you for teaching me that.
All right, yes.
Permutation nitro barley wine. Permutation nitro barley wine. Permutation nitro barley wine at Trillium, Beantown adjacent in Beantown on a beer vlog with Professor Sam Kauffmann. That was quite wonderful. But Professor, I will tell you that you taught me many things about film, but I had to go to someone else to find about permutations because you did not tell me at all about the permutations involving like beer vlogs and tasting beers.